What's up, Kira? Welcome to a new episode of the podcast, everybody.
Hey there, Cody, and thanks for joining, everyone. This is Kiara McCarthy and Cody Anderson, and on today's episode of Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, we're going to talk about what to expect in a cooperative games unit, why it's so important, and then walk you through some ways students can demonstrate the social emotional learning skills that we're looking for. I love teaching cooperative games because it provides students with the tools needed to interact with others in society as they're working with other members of their team toward a common goal and also strategizing with their teammates to find a solution. So Cody and I are going to help prepare students for a cooperative games unit and explain how to put those necessary skills into action. Hopefully this allays some uncertainty or anxiety that students might be feeling leading up to this unit. So Cody, without further ado, to help the students understand what the layout of an activity might look like, I was wondering if you could share a strategy that you use when teaching a cooperative games unit.
So one thing I always do when I do my team building units is honestly be as little involved as possible. I know that sounds weird and it's very different than the rest of the units I teach, but for this one, I do that to really try and push the communication aspect within their teams. I will type out the very simple objectives and rules to the task that we're doing and put them on a card for them to always go back to, in review, so it's always there and handy for them. And I will read through the card with them and go through the pieces of equipment, as an entire class that are there for their disposal as well. And then I am very hands off. I'll just stay away, don't really talk to them, kind of just walk around observing. So yeah, and again, the card is there for them to review, so they are not constantly coming up and asking me questions, but instead communicating with their teammates and trying to problem solve together, because that's, obviously really what I want to push and have them work on.
Thanks for sharing, Cody. So that means that your expectation in this unit is that students are going to be participating in activities where they're expected to be independent, work well with each other, and take on leadership roles. Is there anything else that students would benefit from knowing about this cooperative games unit?
I also don't let the students pick their groups during these activities, because in a lesson like this, where I'm, again, pushing communication, I don't want them to just pick their friends. I want them to be with somebody they might not talk to as much or, don't know quite as well. And I, want them to have to work on those communication skills. In team building activities, your ability to listen is just as important as your ability to speak. And, getting the students to develop these skills along with the problem solving is so rewarding. And I think that is why we enjoy these units so much.
I completely agree with you that students can show leadership by simply listening attentively while other people talk. There's a way to be a leader without making other people feel inferior or scared to speak up. So my advice to my students that are extroverts would be to be the person that invites everyone into the conversation and gets everyone involved. And then my advice to my students that are introverts would be to lead by example. And students can demonstrate this by asking each group member for their input, giving helpful and kind feedback, supporting others' ideas, helping to come up with a plan of action, and encouraging their peers through mistakes. If they're in a class with different grade levels, I also think that students can, make sure that they know everybody's name to make them feel seen. And the awesome thing about this unit is that there's no right or wrong answer. There are multiple solutions to each activity, so as teachers, we want everyone to have the power to contribute in some way. And this brings me to my next point, which is how students feel initially uncomfortable with the idea of team building activities. I know I love to teach these games now, but even when we do them for work-related events, or I have to do it in a new and unfamiliar community of people, I still get nervous. So Cody, do you have any insight on this?
I agree with what you said, and I think we all get nervous in situations where we do not know what to expect and are with a new group of people. It can be difficult to speak up in a group setting, especially with people you wouldn't consider your, quote, close friends. especially given, the type of person you might be. But that doesn't mean this isn't extremely important. I think it's important to prepare for a team building activity by giving students time to identify roles, set goals, and agree on consequences for mishandling these responsibilities.
Yeah, it is true that we're not always going to be in a room of people that we know really well and feel comfortable around. And it's also true that it's extremely important because the skills that students are learning in this unit can be applied outside of school and are going to be used for the rest of their lives. They might find themselves in similar situations using these skills on sports teams or after school clubs, in college, or in future careers. So thank you, Cody, for taking the time to share with us some things to expect in our upcoming unit.
It's been really great, getting to talk about this with you. And before we wrap up, I just want to add, I think part of the reason that you and I love teaching this is because, obviously there's a lot that the students learn and carry throughout their lives when they have class with us. But I think, this is one of those things that, they truly do and really crosses over into so many other things in life. Obviously, we're doing this in physical education, but, teamwork and the ability to listen to each other, collaborate, communicate. Teaching them how to do this is again so rewarding, and I think that's why we enjoy it so much, because this is something that our students really can carry on throughout the rest of their life. I love that.
That is a great point, Cody. It really does feel like we're helping the students become better people, and students are making progress to become individuals that are more self and socially aware, can self-manage, make responsible decisions, and develop relationships with people who are different from them. So now, as we begin to wrap up this episode, I just want to express that we have the unique opportunity in physical education to promote social emotional learning through team building activities. We understand as teachers that middle schoolers might feel embarrassed or uncomfortable when trying a new activity because they don't want to make mistakes or share their ideas, especially with people that they don't consider their friends. It can be really difficult to work with new people, but it's going to benefit us greatly in the long run. So in this podcast, we wanted to prepare students for some of the expectations of our cooperative games unit, highlight the benefits of team building activities, and also, most importantly, empower everyone to bring something to the table, even those who don't feel confident in their athletic abilities. We can use our strengths as well as skills in communication, problem solving, and critical thinking in order to make our team successful and also have fun in the process. So that's all for today, and thank you for tuning in.